Hi, everybody. James here from Don't Come For Me podcast. We are on episode number 10, and this is a crossover episode with my friend Maria from Latina Chronicles. You had your first episode already, which went really well with one of our mutual friends, Jessica LaBrava. Kudos to you and Jessica for doing that. And this is your second episode.
Second episode.
Second
So
episode.
excited. So excited.
I'm excited as well. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate that.
Yes, absolutely.
And thank you for coming on. So today's title, what are we talking about?
Oh my goodness, it's a little dangerous.
It is dangerous.
But
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, but we're going to do it anyway because I know that a lot of people out there can relate to what we're going through right now.
100%.
Yes.
Yes. It's called Dating Stories.
Dating stories.
Stories about dating. Where should we even start? The good? Because some things about dating are actually really good. You get some good parts to it. It's just this modern era dating is crazy.
I think it's because we're in our 40s.
Right.
And the dating world is so crazy.
It is.
And we have at least for me, I do have old school
ways.
Right? And I'm not too old school, but I have old school kind of ways.
I'm
sure that you do too.
Absolutely.
And trying to conform to what's out there is almost fucking impossible.
It's a job in itself. It really can be crazy. Yeah, it can. But at the same time, you want to have that balance. Yeah. And balance can help you because we could also learn something new from people who are in that era. And just because we have our standards and because we have our mindset that we came up with, doesn't mean you can adjust it here and there if that person is the right person. If that person shows that they're worth making the adjustment for.
Right. I agree. 100%.
So in the dating process, how do men ask you? This is one of my questions. I know how I am, and I'm going to tell you. So if I ask a woman out for a date, I already have the date laid out. If we're going to,
you do all the work.
Yes, because to me, if I'm asking you out, that's the least that I could do. Meaning that if it's a first date, I may pick a coffee shop or I'm gonna pick a restaurant, but I'm gonna let you know, hey, meet me here at this time and we're good to go. But I'm curious, when you get asked out, how does that go for you?
I feel like it's like pulling teeth sometimes.
Really?
I have to be like, okay, so I live here and you live there. What's an in-between point?
Right.
You know, like you don't have to come to me. I'm really respectful about that. It's a first date.
Right.
Coffee. It's not anything huge.
Right, exactly.
So I'm really big about being fair and going and meeting somewhere halfway point.
That makes sense.
But if I find the halfway point, at least you can suggest the place.
So do they say, hey Maria, I have a spot here, we meet me here, or is it you find it and I'll just meet you? How does that go for you?
I mean, usually I do it.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy because there's no, even if we go bike riding, I've been bike riding before with a friend of mine and I found the spot to rent the bike. I rented the bike, deposit down. All we had to do was get there, pick the bikes up, and we were this was years ago, and we were on our way. This was actually during the pandemic. And we had a ball that day. But one of the things that I hear repeatedly, whether it's a friend of mine or a first date or someone that I am dating, is that you make it easy. Because all I'm gonna do is tell you to show up and what to wear. Not so much what to wear, not like that, but show up and what the dress is. What the dress code is. Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say.
We can kind of coordinate.
I want to give clarity to that. Not like, oh yeah, you gotta wear this. Like, no. I'm saying that this is the type of restaurant, so this is the style and clothes that you want to wear, and I'll meet you there at this time and go from there.
I feel like more men need to be that way.
It makes it easy. It makes it easy. But it does put you in a category over other people because I hear that same gripe from my friends. I mean, I have it from you and some of my other friends, female friends, that say this exact same thing.
Yes, I agree. It's not something that should be so much work.
Right. You make it easy.
It should be easy. Like I always say coffee because I love coffee and I can get some free coffee, but I can get my own coffee. Right. Either way, it's like, it's easy. It's the first date, nothing big. Let's meet. Let's see if we even want to go on a second date.
Exactly. And that's important because I think a lot of us get so caught up in the interaction before the date, we automatically think that it's going to be a second, third date because that texting or that phone call, you say, "Ooh, this is the one, I know it." And then you see them, not so much looks, but you see them in the interaction like, damn, this energy is different because that text is a different energy and you can be a different person than you are when you meet that person in person. That person in person. Yeah, I mean, that person in person. Yes.
For sure. I mean, you can vibe really well in your texting.
Right.
Not so much texting. I'm very big on if the guy is wanting to chat with me, they need to call me.
Really? So you talk on the phone?
I love to talk.
Really? Okay. I mean, that's not bad, but I don't do a lot of phone talking. Yes, it is different. That's for sure.
But I enjoy that. It's like that just shows me their initiative.
Okay, and some effort.
They're showing effort, and they're truly interested in hearing me.
Got you. That makes sense.
Vice versa, I want to hear
them.
Right. And then I want to FaceTime so I don't get catfished.
Oh, that is a big thing, and thank God I've never had that happen. But yes, I hear that quite often.
I feel like I'm getting catfished right now.
Really?
Yes, I haven't told you.
Well, why don't we talk about it?
I think we need to talk about it.
Let's go ahead and talk about it.
I need some advice.
Okay, let's go. I'm here for it.
All right, so I met this guy on Facebook dating.
Okay.
And a really nice guy. He's checking all the boxes, and I'm just like, you're too good to be true.
Right. That's generally how it is.
Too good to be true. Right. So he calls all the time, so that's great. So now he's got me engaged, right? Because
he checks the boxes and he's calling. Two things that you like.
Yes, right. And so now it's like, okay, let's FaceTime. I want to make sure that's who you are.
Right, who you are, right.
Because I'm asking him for pictures.
Right.
He's sending me pictures from his profile. I said, I want different pictures.
Right. Send me a selfie or
right now.
Out in the car, right.
So when he sent me a picture of him. I think he was at the gym sweating, but the picture wasn't a selfie. It looked like it was screenshot.
Oh, yeah. That's a red flag. That's an immediate red flag.
So after that, I was like, I've been really insistent. Now I need to just find out.
Yeah.
Detective
curiosity. Yeah.
Is he catfishing me?
Right.
So now I'm just like, hey, can you FaceTime? And he always has an excuse.
Yeah.
That's like literally right before I got here today, I was like, hey, I have a few minutes. Let's FaceTime. I can't right now, love. I will.
So anytime a man or a woman hits you with the love or the dearest or the sweetie in advance if they hit you with the love bombs before you even start, you know that's a problem. That's too soon.
All of it is just telling you to run.
Yes. And I think that you should run the other way because even if I'm working, even if you're in construction, if you work at the gym, if you work blue collar, white collar, whatever the case may be, you can do a FaceTime real quick. And
just show me who you are.
And men are generally open to doing FaceTime. Women are the ones that I gotta do my hair, gotta do this, gotta get the filter, gotta get the side angle, the sun gotta be at the right 60 degrees.
I'll put my hair up in a bun, put my glasses on.
Right.
Let me see what you look like.
Exactly. So I'm saying any man who's deflecting the FaceTime, you need to go the opposite way. So you're gonna have to cut that one off.
But I don't want to until I find out.
Well, I mean, when are you guys supposed to be going out?
We're not.
Okay. I don't know what to tell you then because you're going to be in it for a rude awakening. But let's move on. So now, when you go on your dates, how do you feel about paying? About who's going to pay? Is that established? Because a lot of times I hear from my friends where men will go out and order all the food and then tell a woman to pay.
Oh, hell no. Okay.
Not so much tell them, but him and Hall about paying or going half or something like that. I believe that if I'm asking you out, then I'm going to pay for it. Because I've already looked at the menu. I already know what it's going to cost me for the most part. I already know what I'm going to get, especially for the first date. It's not nothing major, no big deal. But how does that happen for you?
I'm old school when it comes to that. Like I have feminine energy.
That's good.
I want the man to take control of the date completely and the check. And honestly, it's like if I feel like I have a few dollars extra, I'll offer to pay for the tip.
Got you. That's polite. You know, I've had that happen a few times. Yeah.
But I believe the man should pay.
No, I agree with you on that. Especially if he asks you out. Yeah. I mean, if he doesn't ask you out, but generally 9.5 times out of 10, the man asks you out, you're going to go out, you should pay. Why am I going to ask you out and then say, oh, yeah, we need to go half or we need to do something different?
So I have a story about that.
About
going out? Stuck with the bill.
Oh, wow. Now, how many dates in was this, though?
This was third date.
Third date. Okay. Tell us about it.
Yeah. Okay. So he's from Pasadena.
Okay.
I invited him to come out to Redlands, my area.
Right.
There's this really cool restaurant and I said, my treat, because I had gone out his way a couple times.
Okay.
And, he had paid. It was, third date.
Right.
After third date, I'll pick up a check.
Really? Okay.
I was being
nice. Teach right. And that's a drive because he's coming from LA.
He's coming from Pasadena.
Okay. Yeah. It's a nice drive. Okay.
He was going to come and something came up and he couldn't.
Got you.
Okay, cool. It didn't happen. All right. So then he invites me, I think that weekend or something, I go out to Pasadena to see him.
Okay.
He takes me into LA to this really cool restaurant. funny story about that. Um, he asked me, "Have you ever been here before?" And I had originally said no. And I get there and I go, "Oh,
you have been there before." Wow.
And it was with my ex.
That's why you just never know what you're gonna get into when you're dating somebody. You just never know. But go ahead. Oh, damn, Mike hit me. Go ahead.
So we get there, we get inside. And let me just tell you, it was a beautiful day. We were having a great conversation in the car.
Nice.
The drive. It was just, I was just had all
everything
the feels.
Worked out. Okay.
All the feels.
Right.
We get there, we eat, and I'm like, and I start noticing he's not ordering much, right? So he's like, "Oh, I'll just drink water." I'm like, "Oh, don't you want to get like a beverage, like a drink or something?" Right. He's like, "No, not really." I'm like, "Well, I'm not going to drink if you're not going to drink." So I just get water, soda, whatever.
Right.
So we eat, and I can't finish my food. And I ask for a box, and the check comes. So I'm not paying attention to the check. I'm fixing my food.
Right, getting everything together.
And he goes like this, because I go to stand up and put my jacket on.
He moves the check towards you?
Yeah.
Wow.
And he's like, "We haven't paid yet." And I looked at him and I go,
"What the hell?"
I said, "Okay." And I felt like it was like the longest pause of my life, because I looked at him and he was looking at me.
Right.
And I was like, "What am I supposed to do?"
Like a movie scene.
Yeah.
And then you hear your heartbeat. Bump, 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 bump.
And then he goes, "Oh yeah, remember?" I asked him, I said, "You want me to pay?" He goes, "Yeah, remember you said you'd treat me."
But he didn't talk about this prior to. You guys didn't establish this. No. He didn't say on the ride down to LA, nothing. He just says that when the bill comes.
Yeah, and I drove all the way to Pasadena.
That's crazy.
From my area, which was, it's over an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, okay." And then I pulled out my card and he was like, "And I'll be right back." Oh no, he said, "I'll meet you outside because the meter's running and I need to go out and be by the car."
Wow. So he left you with the bill, gave you the bill, and then he leaves.
Yes.
Damn. Dudes is ruthless.
And I must
be going about this the wrong way.
I was like, "Oh my God, what just happened to me? Like, did this?" I thought it was like an out of body experience.
Right.
So I get in the car and I'm thinking, well, I'm going home after this.
Yeah, ain't nobody's coming upstairs, ain't nothing jumping off, ain't gonna be no making out, whatever. Yeah.
Well, I thought there wasn't gonna be any making out. Well, we get to his place, my car's there. I get out, and before I get out, I'm like, "You know what? I gotta go."
Right.
So I get out of the car, and he's.
What is that conversation like on the way back from the restaurant? Are you all silent? Okay, all right.
I'm quiet. He's talking, and I'll say like little words here and there.
Yeah, great, cool.
Wish I would have had my freaking car never again.
Right.
So we get there, and he's like, "Well, don't I get a hug?" And I was like, "I'm too nice. I should have said no."
Yeah, I would have been like, "Hell no, shit." Oh yeah, you got $45. You got $75. You get a hug. Yes, that's what you should have said.
I was like, "Okay, fine. I'll just give him a hug, whatever." So I go to hug him, and he starts to fill me up.
Oh wow.
I was like, "Oh, all right, I gotta go." Like now. Got in my car and I left, and I never called him or anything again. Yeah, I waited to see if he would text or call. He never did, to check to see if I got home. Nothing.
That's crazy. This is the third date.
That was the third date.
And that's why dating is just, you just never know what you're going to get. Period. Point blank. I dated a girl. I shouldn't say I dated. I talked to. This is different. I talked to a girl, and she was in Vegas, and she was going to come down. Again, the situation on the phone, everything clicks. You check all the right boxes, the communication. And and she's gonna drive down, and we talk about it maybe 2 weeks later, and I go to her profile and she's married.
Oh, shit.
No, not that she was married when I was talking to her, she got married. So during this process of us just talking and chatting and going back and forth and exchanging, it was her birthday, happy birthday, all that good stuff. I see a gal because she does makeup, and I'm saying, "Damn, that was nice. You did that for a photo shoot?" She's like, "No, I got married." Wait, what? You got married? Yeah, I got married, and this is it. This is the guy.
How did she explain that talking to you when she got married?
That's just what happens. I just said to myself, I just said, it is, you just never know what you're going to get. But on the flip side, I have had some good people and had some good dates and had some good things happen. But going back to you, that's appalling, because I see things like that on social media where they'll have the person at the table and the guy's like, "She want me to pay and she want me to do this." And why even put a person through that situation? Yeah. Why even put yourself through that embarrassment situation if you know you don't have enough money? Stay at home, cook. Let's go to In-N-Out. Let's go to Cane's. I got a coupon. Exactly. Something. Don't put me in a bad predicament publicly and then record it to where it's bad for all of us.
Absolutely not. That would be horrible. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I hate the game. I hate the game, James.
Yeah. It's tough. But like I was telling you, so I dated this one girl. one woman, excuse me. We're gonna call her Blue Eyes, and she was phenomenal. She was phenomenal. And the one thing that was nice about her is that she had a son, and this is the upside, the plus to dating. She had a son, and he wasn't autistic. I forgot exactly what the issue was, but every week she would make time on her calendar, and we would go out. That's good. Every week from the very first time, and she was stunning. I'm talking about on TikTok with, I think she has like 20,000 followers. Nice. Just on point. And James, one thing, and that was the biggest thing that she would tell me, I like the way you plan. All I got to do is show up. And the other part to that, which I learned, which she taught me in interacting with, just because, like you said, women in different age groups are different. Right. And the first time I saw her, we went to this rooftop restaurant, and I thought it was her birthday because she posted it, and I buy her a gift, and she's like, no, it's not my birthday, it's coming up. So I'm like, okay. She said, but I do like this. I can see you paid attention. When do you want me to wear this? Because it's a dress. Oh, okay. I'm like, wait, what? Like, you know, it's like, no, when do you want me to wear this? You bought it for me. I'm going to wear it for you. And that blew my mind. That was very impressive because I've never had a woman say that, even if I gave them a gift or they were a friend. When do you want me to wear that? And that just started a train reaction to where literally every week we were going out and she would have it on the calendar. We would confirm, what do you want me to wear? Do you want me to wear this black dress? You want me to wear this one, these heels? And that was good. I mean, things got kind of crazy towards the end, but that was really good. It didn't work out. No, it didn't work out. Yeah, I think that she used to date. I mean, she was the caliber that was dating NBA players. And I think that towards the end, she just has so much trauma with the last relationship, and we kind of bumped head. We're friends, and she has a man, and she's about to get engaged, or she is engaged to get married. But it was an experience that I learned a lot, and I was taught a lot about myself and how to be more patient and how to be more attentive. And that was a good. That was a good dating story.
Well, I feel like with every story we learn, or every
absolutely.
Story I say, you know, our stories we're talking about. Absolutely. So every experience that we've had, it helps us grow.
It helps you to get better if you take that experience to heart. Right. You don't take it the wrong way.
Yes, I'm very emotional.
That you are. That's for sure.
I cry for everything. Like I cry if I'm happy. I cry if I'm sad. I cry if I'm angry. Like, it's so hard for me to speak words when I get emotional.
But one of the biggest things I've learned, because you know we've talked about being emotional and having some outbursts before, but one of the things I've learned about controlling your emotions is that you control your energy and your environment. And when you can dictate your energy and your environment, then everything else around you kind of succumbs to you. But when you lose that control, then there is no control and there's no order and everything falls apart.
Right. So coming out of my divorce, because I was married for
24 years.
4 plus years.
Yes, I remember that. Speaking of that, you were my very first episode for the podcast. And now we're on episode 10. Yes, so and you have your own podcast now. So yes, I love it. I love it. Progress. And not only that, one thing I like about you is that, yes, you are emotional. However, if I say, just like you're getting ready to get your real estate license and some other things that you have going on, if I say, hey, Maria, these are the steps to get it done. It may take you a couple of days, but you'll get going to where I've expressed this to other people, like get your podcast going, get this going, make that happen. And they drag their feet with it. That's one thing that's admirable about you and other people that take the initiative and get things happening to where you don't make excuses for it. And I want to give you a shout out for that. So good job.
Thank you. It's been a process. I know that back when I was in the marriage, I always used to quit. Like I would quit this, I would quit that, because I never thought that I was capable as being in an abusive relationship. Right. So I see where that came from, but I take responsibility. Okay. I should have changed those thoughts, and I have now. It's like, no, I'm not quitting anymore.
That's good.
So, yeah.
But you were telling the story about
the story about I don't know how I was going to tell this story, but it's going to come up. So I was going to tell you about my first relationship coming out of divorce.
The divorce. Okay, so
now, I was separated from my ex, so I was probably like 3-4 months separated.
Okay.
Jumped on Bumble.
Wow.
And it's COVID era. Okay. COVID era. So this guy, I'm talking to a couple guys, and
so I'm not gonna. I mean, interrupt you. But how do you feel about the rotation? How do you feel about rotation? You said a couple guys. So is that considered a rotation, or is that just a couple guys?
Why you gotta bring up rotation, James?
Okay, we'll get back to it. Go ahead.
We can come back to
Go ahead.
that.
Let's come back to
circle
it. Go
back.
ahead.
Let's
All
circle
right,
back.
let's do that.
So anyway, I was talking. I'm probably 3 guys. I mean, come on.
Okay, it's COVID.
We're just COVID. What
but you deserve that because you're out of a relationship for 24 years of your life. You're in a relationship, so you're
Same
okay.
Man.
You get a pass.
Same man.
Yeah, same man.
Okay. Did go a little crazy. Not really. But anyway.
Okay.
So there was 3 that I was speaking with.
3 amigos.
There was one that I really liked. And the other guy I kind of put off to the side. Right?
Got you.
So the one that I really liked kind of fell through. And I started dating this one person.
Okay.
Okay. So the first, and that's what I say, this is what it's about, the emotional thing. Right. It's super emotional. Like you said, when you don't have control of what's around you, and it affects me. So yeah, it affects me. So it was an interesting relationship.
To say the least.
I fell for him very hard. Like, I still care for him and love him and wish him the best.
Right.
But I probably shouldn't have been in that relationship.
Right.
And there was a lot of things that, looking back now, I should have not done.
Okay. I think we all look at that.
But it was, I think for me, it's like I was really naive to it all. Like, I didn't understand when I did certain things that it would affect this or that.
Right.
Because I wasn't used to that.
Yeah, you hadn't even been in the dating world. It was similar to you coming out of prison. And now you have the internet and you have social media, you have all these different things you have to adjust. Dating is an adjusting game. It is truly a game.
And I was always wanting to be respectful of him and his feelings.
Right.
And try to explain, hey, I didn't do this maliciously. I didn't do this thinking that would happen.
Right.
But he didn't believe it.
Right.
He was just like, I can't believe that you're that naive type person.
What you said in that's where communication comes into play.
Yeah.
Because when you have that communication, then had he had a conversation with you and said, tell me why you like this. And you say, well, I've been married 24 years. I've been through okay, now I understand. And I can give you an example. My friend Gab in St. Louis, we call her a counselor.
Mm-hmm.
See, when her and I, we've been almost best friends for about going on 6 years now.
Nice.
And when she comes out, we see each other and then back and forth. However, when I first met her, when I tell you this woman was not emotional, if I sent her flowers or if it's her birthday or just a gift or something, I got it. Did you like it? I liked it. Like, literally, that's what she would give me. And she's been on the podcast and she would tell you that's how she was. So one day I said, Gabby, make some time, because she does real estate as well, make some time and let's have a conversation. Why are you like this? What can I do to bring more joy out of you? And she told me it was PTSD from past relationships and has something to do with her father. I mean, she goes in depth with the conversation. And I say, now I understand. So I have to maneuver when I talk to her and I do certain things. And now fast forward, if I give a gift or I do something, hey, I enjoyed it. I really liked it, James. Thank you. Send a picture with the gift. But the point I'm making is that when you look beyond just, I want to be intimate with that man or that woman, but I want to really get to know her. Why do you do this? And you ask those questions, then you get to know better.
Yes. And I was told that I just used it as an excuse.
Yeah.
You know?
See, but that's narcissistic too.
So it was not a good, healthy relationship for me coming out of my divorce.
But here's the other part. People will take advantage of that too.
Yeah.
Because they know you're naive.
Yes.
And if you're a veteran in the dating game, it's like you're being a rookie. You're a rookie, so I'm gonna go ahead and just take advantage of this rookie right now. And
it's funny because all my family saw it. They told me, but we don't see it when we're in it.
No.
It's like, no,
We have blinders on. We're in the Matrix.
My best life.
Yeah. And it was your best life because you had come out of 24 years. Yes. So to you, this is a celebration. I'm good.
This is good.
Not knowing.
I just got rejected by my husband, who I was with for 26 years. Now I have all these men that want to talk to me. And
they are lining up from here to LA. Yeah, I'm ready for it. Exactly.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, if we'll get into this story, how do you feel about PDA, public displays of affection?
I love it.
Really?
But
okay.
If we just met, you don't get to grow my ass.
So how many days in does it have to be? Actually, I don't think it's a matter of how many days. I think PDA is more of how you feel with that person. That's what it is. And I brought that up because I have a story about this one too.
Right.
So there's a lady I was dating. She and I were really good friends. We'll call her Bella for the lack of better words. And one day we go and get ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
So when we're getting ice cream, she literally is holding my arm and she puts her head on my shoulder. When I tell you, I had never experienced affection like that. Just like a man coming up in LA and like we're hardcore. We don't really do holding hands. Like, nah, that's for suckers. We're not doing that. But that moment, I'm like, shit, this is actually pretty dope. Like, this is a good feeling. But I didn't even though in my mind I said that, the reciprocation wasn't that.
Mm-hmm.
And the next day we have a conversation. She said, "Well, did you like what I did? You like public displays of affection?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's cool. I'm getting to learn it." And it's like, "Oh, okay." So I felt a certain type of way. So then that made me realize that this person I'm with, that brings them joy. Let me loosen up. And then moving forward, every time I would see her or we'd be around each other, she would grab my hand and we walk to the door of the restaurant, or I put my arm around her waist, or like you said, we in line, slap you on the ass, whatever the case may be. But it grew on me, and because of the conversation, going back to talking, it made me more receptive to where before I didn't really know if I liked it or not, but I love it now with the right person, with that chemistry.
Right person is great. Like, I'm all about PDA. Like, I love to be held and my hair stroked, and I love the cuddling, and because my love language is touch, it's physical touch and time. So I'm all about that, and I think that that's really big for me because I was starved for so many years.
Got you, a lot of years. So how do you explain that if a man you go on a first, second date, is it the chemistry or is it the time that you've known him? Which one is more important? Because you can have a good vibe with a person and they put their hand around your waist and then you feel pretty good.
The waist is okay.
Okay.
But if that hand starts to go a little lower than that,
right.
It's when I'm kind of like, this guy just wants to have fun.
Right.
Right. He just wants to have sex.
Got you.
And nothing wrong with that.
Right. Be honest with me. Let me know.
Just let me know.
Yeah, so I know what I'm expecting.
No prude, that's for damn sure.
Right.
I had a whole phase. Just
I've had a few guests on here who've told me about that, but they've all been in similar situations, married 10 years, 20 years, 24 years, abusive relationships, things like that. And I can't say it justifies it, but I understand it. Because again, the analogy of coming out of prison, when you get out of prison, what's the first thing a man want to do?
Yeah.
Have sex. And that's generally how it goes. So I get that. So the PDA is good then.
PDA.
Okay. That's a good thing. And then we talked about the conversation and planning dates. We talked about that, which is important.
What about those dates that are horrific? The ones that you're in it, you're in the thick of it, and you already know instantly when you met them, like 2 minutes in, this is not for me.
Yeah.
I need out. How do you get out? I can't. I'm too nice.
See, that's the problem. You can't be nice in this dating world. That's the unfortunate part. My friend, the counselor, she and I always say, no feelings. You really can't have feelings because at any point, anything can change. Yeah. And I think that when you get in a situation like that and you know in advance, you got to just say, I'm sorry, this is not it. I don't mean to be rude. I don't mean to be disrespectful. Because I've been out once and the lady, this was years ago, and the lady was at the table and she taking the order with the waitress and she's like, yeah, I want this and I want that. And yeah, throw some of that chicken in there. I said, check please, I'm out this month. I was just so appalled by the way she was acting. It was ridiculous. But I cut it short. I wasn't going to stay there and act like it was better than what it was or I was okay with it. I just wasn't. Especially for a first date. There's no... Yeah.
I wish I knew how to just cut it loose and be like, you know what, this isn't for me.
Yeah.
I can't do this anymore type thing. But
it's tough.
It's not easy.
No, it really isn't.
Me. No.
It really isn't. Mm-hmm. But you have to... One of the other things I'm realizing is that you have to kind of read the room with people and see where they come from, meaning what's the conversation like prior to? Is the conversation better or the same when I see you?
Yeah.
Those type of things make a difference because, again, I'll give you another story. I go and see the same person we were just talking about, and we end up, the first time we have a 3.5 hour conversation.
Those are the best.
Those are the absolute
you're just
best.
Talking and you don't even know that 3 hours
the time is going, right? And then I could tell because it's her first date, and we end up leaving, and I'm like, did you have a good time? And time goes on, and then you want to talk on the phone, and then you want to see that person again, like, when are you available again? Those are really good, and once you pass that test, then it opens up everything else for you.
Yeah, but those are hard to find.
They're very rare, so that's why when you do find them, you have to hold on to them
and not mess them up.
Yeah, and not mess them up. That's very important.
I feel like I'm the prize, and I'm not being conceited.
You should feel like that. I think every woman should feel like that.
I'm the whole package. Like, okay. I was made to be married and be in a relationship.
That's good.
That's me.
Right.
Like, I'm ready to care for a man again.
Right.
Like, that's my thing. But I'm very picky. I need to be, because I'm very terrified of ending back where I was to begin with.
That's the other part to this. You could be with somebody 6 months, 8 months, 9 months, a year, 2 years, and you just never know what's going to happen because people change, unfortunately. Yes. And none of us can predict that. That's the uncertainty about dating and even being in relationships. Yeah. You just don't know what's going to happen. You could have a good, I think both of us have been through situations where you have a good vibe, everything's going. You're like, damn, the person's not responding, or he's not calling, or she's not responding. What the hell is going on here? And I hear and see stories like this all the time, and it's incredible how things can go nowadays, and no one seems to give a fuck. That's the other bad part.
And I feel like a lot of people don't know how to. I'm gonna say a lot of guys don't know how to communicate.
Right.
Like, if I'm not for you, cool. Like, right. That's not even a thing. Like, I'm good.
Just let me know.
Hurt my feelings. I'd rather you tell me, hey, you know what? I don't think it's gonna work out. Cool. You know, no hard feelings. I'm good with that. And tell me. Don't keep me guessing.
They take ghosting as a way of telling you. Not you, but just in general.
No, yes,
because it's easier to walk away and not say anything than me have to express myself. Because a lot of people they don't know how to express themselves. I had to learn how to express myself. People don't know that aspect of how to communicate, and that's where the problems come in. That's why you get people who, like you and I would do sometimes, or me and Gab would do sometimes. We leave voice messages for each other, or we'll just text. It's hard to pick up that phone and express yourself.
Yeah,
and that's one of the toughest things to do, but you have to do it if you really genuinely care about that person.
That's the thing, though, is that it won't be hard for the right person.
That's true.
That's how I feel, at least.
Hey, I'm glad you said that. Because here's a part of the PTSD I want to tell you about as well. Mm-hmm. Dating part 3 is the same person. One day I say, hey, it was something along the line. I think it was in there. You know how you watch the Instagram story?
Yeah.
And I'm saying, make it home safely, or where are you at? Something like that I said.
Mm-hmm.
And then I end up doubling back, and I left a message. And I said, look, I only said where are you going, or what time will you be home, because I wanted to make sure you made it there safely. I care. I wasn't pressing you, and I wasn't asking you. Yeah. And that person, that same night, I think it was early enough, or the next morning, called me back and said, James, thank you for that. Because that's what I thought. I thought you were pressing me. But automatically when I said that, I knew before conversations that her ex-husband would say, you know, where you at, what you're doing, and the relationship after that was very abusive. So I had to make that adjustment to reassure her that I'm not that person. I'm not pressing. Do what you want to do, but I am going to check on you and make sure that you're okay. And she was very appreciative of that. And that comes back to what you just said, as far as communicating. Because if I get to know you and I know that you're really sentimental, I'm going to really try not to do something that you're going to start crying while we out. But I have to get to know you beyond wanting to just hit it and quit it, to know that that's the case. And in that case, that was very profound. And I was shocked in myself that I took that extra time. But that extra time made them feel more comfortable, made them be more open, and helped strengthen the dating or relationship at that time.
I feel like more men need to be that way. Not, and also on the other flip side, it's where I don't believe that we should put all that on the men that we're dating.
Like, no, not too soon.
He's not my ex-husband.
Right.
So I always have to tell myself,
right,
he is not my ex-husband.
Exactly.
He's not the same person. I need to go in with an open heart and an open mind, and hopefully it turns out to be something good. But
and communication, even with me, I just, there are very few people that will open up to. Like Gab is one that I could call and talk to, and we'll have long, in-depth 2-3 hour conversations. Mm-hmm. And a couple other people, not even a couple, maybe one, maybe two outside of my family that I feel comfortable enough and talking to about a lot of things, because people will use that against you. They'll bring it back up. And it just got to the point where I felt like, okay, I can express myself to other people and be a little bit, I can do the basics and surface, but as a man to really, you ever see the meme that says men that don't go to therapy start a podcast? But like that's the expression point, because it's easier sometimes to talk into a mic than it is to have a conversation with the person that we're dating, or even we love, or we're that we love, or that we're in a relationship with. It's difficult to do that because of not wanting to be belittled, or not knowing how to do it, or not being taught how to do it. So it's a process.
You have to be vulnerable, and that's dangerous.
That vulnerability is tough.
It's not easy.
It's tough these days. You don't want to be. No one wants to be vulnerable. Well, because your feelings get hurt.
Exactly, because we don't want to be hurt. We don't want to be, like you said, stuff be used against us.
Exactly.
And then we end up getting hurt.
Yeah, so. That's the tough part.
It's the sucky part.
Yeah, but I think that this is one of the other parts that you said as well. I think that, and again, the counselor and I, we talk about all the front. We talk about this all the time, that when you tell somebody when you tell somebody what is the word I'm looking for? Your intentions. That's what I'm looking for. When you tell someone your intentions up front, it makes it easier. If I say, Maria, hey, I think that you're absolutely gorgeous, but the reality is I don't have time to really date, but I do want to sleep with you. You're like, shit, this dude's an asshole, but he's honest with me. Instead of me going and say, hey, Maria, let me take you on 3 or 4 dates and then try to be intimate with you when that's all I want to do in the beginning. You think it's something more, then because I'm gonna scratch your car, I'm gonna bust your windows out, you ain't shit, your mom ain't shit. All that starts to happen instead of me just letting you make a solid decision by being honest with you up front.
And that's funny that you bring that up, because that's so true. Like, you don't know what you're gonna get out of that person.
Exactly.
It's like, you're afraid of losing that chance, but what if
she wants the same thing you want, right?
What if this person is so down to do that, and now you have
exactly what you wanted? Yeah. She's like, shit, that's what I wanted too. We're on the same page.
Really? Damn it. I didn't know how to tell you without acting.
Right? Like, this works. Yeah. But that's important. You always have to, you don't have to, you always should not let that person see the representative, but establish a truth, because you don't know where it will go. And that could be the best thing for you.
No, I agree. I think in the beginning when I was dating and everything, would scare me that these men were so forward.
Right.
But it was like, looking back now, it's like, you know what? No, that was good. They were telling me.
Right.
And I was deciding if I wanted that or not. I was running from it because I was all new to me. I was like, what the hell?
Right.
But now it's like, just recently I'm talking to somebody and he's just like, I'm super attractive to you. I'm attracted to you. I think you're beautiful.
Right.
And in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, yeah, that's great. There's more to me than that.
Right.
But at the same time, because I'm very, what's the word I'm looking for?
I'm looking for it too. What is the word you're looking for?
What's the word I'm looking for?
I'm not sure.
So.
What's the word? Don't hold it in. What is it? Come on now.
Okay, so sex is really important.
Okay.
Very important. I feel like that
chemistry, you talked about that in your first episode.
I did. I feel like that chemistry with that person, it needs to be like on point with me.
Okay.
Because if it's not, I don't want to waste my time.
I get you. I got you.
Because it's important to me.
But everybody's not like that though. Like I hear some women say that I hear some women say that they can detach emotion from intercourse.
Yeah.
And then some women are saying, hey, you know what? No, I need to, if I'm gonna be sexual with you, I want to be sexual with you all the time. And I'm not sleeping with 2 or 3 different people. And some men are the same way. For me, I'm just not trying to, I'm not just out there slanging D. I'm not doing that. Like, if I have one person that I'm happy with and we get along, and not only that, and they're clean, and because it's so much shit, it's so much stuff going on with so many different people. You don't know who that person's sleeping with, who they're with, and then you invite them over, they're gonna try to jack you, hell no. Give me my person and I'm good. I'm gonna make sure you respect it. I'm gonna make sure you're taken care of. Make sure you're happy. I'm gonna make sure you want to give it to me. I'm gonna make sure the sex is bombed. You get 2, 3, 4 out the door, and that's it. I'm just saying that's what it's gonna be.
What woman doesn't want that?
Yeah, but as far as me trying, okay, I'm gonna sleep with Tamika. I'm gonna sleep with Tasha, Portia, Keisha. Hell, and then not only that, you're exchanging energy.
Yes,
that's a lot of work.
And that's one of my biggest things is that, okay, so we're not in a relationship,
right?
But we're doing that, right? So now I'm kind of like in a pickle. Okay, so am I only supposed to do that with you, or is it okay to come over here and do that with him, like you're talking about?
Yes, that
we're single. We can do whatever we want.
True.
I can I can do that. I have a right to do that.
True.
And I feel like we get looked down on because women shouldn't be doing that, but it's okay for the men to do that.
Yeah, it's been established, even though it's a warped sense of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Because women, like you said, if you're single and you can mingle and you're not exclusive with that person, then you can do what you want with who you want, and that's up to you. I think overall the perspective of men, because and I've said this before, men know that a woman's body is sacred, regardless of how they act, what they say. They want to be the biggest pimp in the world. They know, because they know their mother, that body is sacred. Just like a man would defend his mother to the death, they know that woman. But at the same time, because of society, music, alcohol, drugs, everything else, it's the thing is fuck a hoe, and then how many can I fuck? And that makes me a man. Opposed to, I'm going to be just this one woman. We'll be intimate. She's going to be my girl, or we'll be exclusive. We'll have a conversation, and that's it. Because that makes you a nerd at that point.
Right.
But now that everybody's getting herpes and AIDS and syphilis and everything else, you're like, shit, I want to be a nerd. I don't want to be out there like that.
It's scary.
It is.
You know, I did that. I'm not going to lie. I was doing that. Did it for like 2 years. And I'm good now.
Good.
Got it on my system.
That's good.
I'm ready, like you said, to have that one person, you know, that I'm with.
Settle down with.
That I want to spend time with, that I look forward to seeing, that I want to talk to, that, you know, he's actually interested in me.
Right.
And it's not easy.
That has to be established. You have to establish that with that person. And that's important. And then you have to have trust. And just like the Drake song goes, trust issues. So many of us have trust issues. Because of the past drama that we've had. Yep. Not drama, excuse me, drama and trauma. That's what I meant to say.
All of it.
The past trauma. And that makes a big difference.
Well, I don't know if I told you or we talked about it, but that first relationship that I was in, I got called by the wife.
Yeah, we talked about it.
I don't know. I didn't know there was a wife.
Yeah,
and denied it to this day that there was no wife.
Wow.
But yeah, all that, it's like, wait a minute.
Well, I got a call.
I don't want to be no side chick.
Talking about polyamorous. I'm gonna be polyamory.
I've heard of that, and I've been offered that.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That's interesting. These guys really get into depth, and I only entertain the conversation because I really want to hear about it.
Yeah, it's deep. And let me tell you one better. I got offered if I became poly with this woman, because she was married, and if we went out and she wore a ring, that she would buy me a ring. So they would think that we were married and it wouldn't be a problem. I was like, damn, what kind of ring you offering? No, I didn't say that. But is it 24 karat gold? Can I get some diamonds on there? Yeah. But no, I was like, what the fuck? But it was crazy because they are very serious about this.
No,
they're very passionate. And they will spend money on you. Yeah.
Ready to, and it's funny because I see them inside the dating app.
Right.
They kind of like, I don't know how they get in there, but they get in there and I'm reading. I'm like, wait, he's with some woman in this picture. And I'm like scrolling, going, wait, they're married.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh, that's what they're looking for.
Yeah. They want a unicorn. I mean, it's so many different layers to that aspect of poly that it's something different.
No, I'm not into that. No, thank
you. Ice-T said it best years ago. It's expensive to date multiple women, because even that most average date, even if you went to Applebee's and you did, was it 2 for $25 or 2 for $20, and you got some drinks and a little bit of dessert, and let's just say you got the regular drink, you're going to end up spending about 25, 30, let's say $45 with the tip, $50. And you do that with 2 or 3 people in a week, that's $150, not including your gas, your rent, your mortgage, all these other different things. And then you're doing that almost every other week. That's an extra $300 to $600. That is crazy. There's no way. And then you got to keep up. Does this girl like this? You like that one?
To date.
It's ridiculous.
Seriously, like, I don't know.
That's why when I do dates, I can go from a food truck to 71 above at the top of the U.S. Bank Center overlooking the entire city. That's going to be that. I don't know if I'm ready to mingle, but hey, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
He's ready.
But at the end of the day, those dynamics, there's no way I could take 3 or 4 people out a month. There's no way. And then try to be successful, try to do my work, try to stay focused, try to work out, try to spend time with the children, try to go to church and pay my charity. Yes. And it's just too much. I think single people who are young with a job, they could probably pull it off, or people with a lot of money.
Right.
Outside of that, it's just too much.
Right. I agree.
And that's why you got to establish yourself with somebody. If you're never going to find the perfect person, but if it's someone that you can be respectful to, and I don't want to say deal with, that's not the word, but be compatible with, that's the better word.
You're
then
compatible with, you
that's
have
it.
The same likes.
Yes.
They don't check all the boxes. Okay, so
no one's gonna ever check all the boxes.
He's not as tall as this, or he doesn't look like that,
right?
Or I don't know, he drives a blah blah blah.
Right.
See, for me, I don't care. You can drive a Bug for all I care.
Right.
I don't care what you drive. It doesn't impress me.
Okay.
Your money doesn't impress me. None
I hear
of
that quite often.
Impress me.
I hear that a lot.
But there's some women where it does. It does impress them, and they look for that.
But I also think that a man, depending on how in depth you are with the person, you should want to do for that woman. Meaning that there are women that I've dated, and even friends of mine now to this day, do you want a Starbucks gift card, or I'll buy flowers for you, or
you're very generous.
I will do.
For sure.
But again, it has to be an established friendship or relationship. It has to be some time put into that, so that I know that you're worth it, and you're not just going to take that and run and take advantage of it.
Right.
Because that friendship or relationship or dating, that lets that person know that you're important, and lets them know that you're worth something more than just the basics.
I have a question.
Shoot, I'm ready for it.
This, and I've heard a lot of talk about this.
Okay.
And it's like, can men and women be friends, like best friends, be really good friends without a relationship, without being intimate?
That's a good question. I'm gonna give you my take. So the counselor, Gab, right? We talk about that often, because I would always tell her that I don't want to cross a line with you and not be able to have that in-depth conversation that we have. Because when I say we talk about everything, we talk about everything. And when you become intimate with a person, that changes. Because now, and I don't care if you say it's a sneaky link, we just hitting and quitting it. At some point, somebody's going to catch some feelings. Period, point blank. If you're doing it consistent, somebody's getting some feelings. Yeah. And at the end of the day, that becomes difficult. And she's in a situation now where that happened, and that's a whole nother episode. Maybe when I have her come back on, we'll talk about it. But
talk about that.
Yeah, she will. But nonetheless, if you establish the right perimeters and you don't let that horniness, because seriously, that's what it generally is. Like, oh, he did what to you, girl? Oh shit, come on over here and lay right. Come on, you already know. That's how it goes.
It's like the best friend is just waiting for his shot to get in
exactly. But at the end of the day, and we've seen movies where best friends were intimate, and that friend gets into a relationship. They're like, shit, I didn't know I felt this way, or I didn't know I really cared about you like that, and something happens. I think that is very I think that it's possible, but you have to have extreme discipline, and you have to want that friendship more than that intimacy for an hour, 20 minutes, 2 minutes, whatever it's going to be. And that's a hard call.
I feel about it, because I've never had a man friend until you.
Right.
I call you my best friend because you're my best guy friend.
Right.
And a lot of people look at that weird. They're like,
yeah, but
who is this guy? Why are you?
When you and I started, it was interesting because you were out the relationship, and we went back and forth. We got mad at each other, like, fuck you, like. And I remember I told you, like, yeah, good luck. You don't know what the fuck's out there for you. That was some funny stuff.
Like, you asshole.
Yeah, but I was right though. I tried to warn you about what was going on, but at the end of the day, I think that the friendship is bigger than me just saying, "Hey, come through and let's get it cracking." Because
and that was my biggest thing with you, and I told you that.
Yeah, that makes
sense. I'd rather have a friendship with
absolutely
you, because whatever it is that we're gonna do or not do,
right,
can ruin that, and then we're just gonna go our separate ways.
Yeah, and friendships are very far in between.
They are,
and to be able to have the conversations that we have, and to be able to go back and forth the way we do, and not feel it organically, and not feel a certain type of way. Mm-hmm. That's what you want in a friend. You don't want that to change. And then shit, we have so much going on around us. Like, why even try to bump heads like that when we have our own things going on and it works out perfect? Yeah. So it truly does work out perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to answer that question, yeah, you can. You just have to establish that. You have to truly establish it.
You have to establish your boundaries.
Yeah.
And
you have to respect the boundaries too. Yeah, respect the boundaries.
Absolutely. And then going into a relationship, if you are going into a relationship with someone, that's one of my biggest things. This is my best friend, James.
Let them know.
And
is he gay? No, not at all.
He's not
not even close to, sir. Don't even worry. But you are safe. And not only that, you have to be, as a man or a woman, respectful to that person that's in a relationship now. Yes. And that's the other part, because some people are disrespectful when that other person gets into a relationship. So you have to understand, I'm not going to call you at this certain time anymore. I'm not going to do this.
Because you can't.
Because you got a man and y'all doing your thing and holler at me when you can. Or we may go, instead of talking every day, now it's going to be 3 or 4 days, whatever. And you have to also keep in mind that could possibly change, and you could be removed altogether, because if that person gets engaged, they get married, that's a possibility, and you have to be okay with that.
No, it's not. You're not gonna get engaged and just kick me out the door. I come along with the fucking marriage.
Oh, okay.
I am the best friend. I'll be the best man.
Okay. Well, at the wedding, all right. All right, that's funny. Just said thank you very much. Good deal. But no, I'm glad you asked that question, because I know that's very important to people.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what people say about that, because it's definitely something that.
It's doable. It depends on how much you feel. Like I said, going back to the counselor Gab, we've had that conversation multiple times. And for me, I just told her I like to be able to call her at the drop of a dime and say anything to her. Like, this is my situation. This is what I got going on. I've literally had her type of reply to a message for me that I need to send. I'm saying that type of friendship doesn't come around often. Mm-hmm. And when you get it, you don't want to fuck it up for some intimacy. You don't want that, because you're gonna start catching feelings. Period. Point blank.
Yeah. You don't want to go down that road.
Nah, not if you don't have to. And there's too many other people that you can date and talk to in order to do that.
True.
Bottom line.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
So yeah, we had some good stories.
I
think people will find some pleasure out of this.
I hope so.
I think so.
Maybe help you guys a little bit.
Hopefully. Just one of the key takeaways for me is to communication. Establish it up front. Yes. Good, bad, or indifferent. If you want to just be intimate and have sex, tell them. If you want something long term, tell them. When you establish it, you give them a chance to make a solid decision instead of lying to them. Once you start lying, all hell breaks loose.
I agree.
And some people can take it and some people cannot, but they respect it at the end of the day. And that's what makes a difference.
Absolutely. Like, I had somebody recently that I'm talking to who's told me, I don't believe in marriage and I don't believe in relationships. Okay. But I believe in being with that person.
Right.
So that kind of blew my mind. I was like, so what does that mean?
Right.
So I'm trying to be like, so how does that, and it's like, I'm not going to get into that over the phone with him, because we're supposed to have a first meetup.
Okay.
But that's definitely something that I'm going to bring up. It's like, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a relationship.
Right.
You're saying you don't believe in a relationship. So what do you believe in?
Exactly. How does this work then? Right. And that's it. Even if that was a talking piece to get you interested, he got you interested.
That
was good. Yeah.
He reeled me in.
Yeah.
Very well
Tell me more.
Right. It could have been, okay, I'm out.
Right.
And instead it was,
I'm intrigued. Yeah. I can't wait to see you.
Still want to see you.
Right. And that's what it's all about. And that's my mantra when I'm dating or I'm seeing somebody. My job as a man is to keep me on your mind. Right. So whatever that takes in that process until I feel like that this isn't going to work or it's not going anywhere, then it doesn't matter at that point.
Right.
But if it's something that's intriguing and we're going to try to make it work and move forward, then my job is to keep me on your mind. So that way, and I don't mean going overboard or do anything crazy, but just in general, a text message, a call, a this, a that, that's part of the process.
Yes, I agree.
It is. So with that being said, what would you tell the ladies before we leave? I said mine was communication. What would yours be?
Like, what's the number one thing?
Yeah, in dating. Yeah, like what can you tell them through all the experiences? The man making you pay, you were married, you left, the hugger, you talked about that on your first episode. All these experiences, what is one thing you can, or a few things you can tell the ladies just in the dating process?
Just be careful who you do that first date with.
Okay.
Do your work diligently.
Yeah. Do your homework.
Yes, because I've been stuck a couple times where I didn't want to be there and I didn't know how to get out of it.
Wow.
But the signs were there though before, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna let that go. He seems like he'll be okay.
So follow your intuition. Follow your gut.
Because usually your gut is gonna be right. Same thing with the relationship I had after I was married. My gut said run.
Right.
Like, run, red flags. I was collecting them.
Twirling them, doing a cheerleading with them. Yeah.
So listen to your gut.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good one, because sometimes we forego our gut with either our heart, our mind, or our lower parts, and that can be difficult. But when that gut hit, when you get that gut feeling, ladies, listen to it. And if a man is willing to communicate to you and tell you what's going on up front, listen to it and make a sound decision and go from there. Yep. Yeah. So until the next episode, thank you guys for listening. Thank you for having the cross. Thank you for having me on and you were on, for both of us being on. This is good. We'll have to do this again soon. Absolutely. 100%. All right. Thank you.
Bye.